Welcome to the deep dive. You sent us a really fascinating bunch of articles, all centered around building and growing a successful online business using Shopify.
Yeah, a great collection.
So we've gone through it all, pulled out the key bits of knowledge, the insights. Think of this as, your shortcut to getting properly informed about what it really takes. And there are some interesting twists in there, too.
Absolutely. And our mission today, looking at your sources, is to really dig deeper than just the surface level. We're not just summarizing here.
Right.
We're trying to pull out those crucial strategies, everything from, the sparks of inspiration you get from the success stories, right down to the practical nuts and bolts marketing operations, even the legal stuff.
And it's a real mix of things we've got, like deep dives into brands that are absolutely crushing it on Shopify, but also really practical guides on things like keeping customers happy, getting your shipping sorted, essential tips for small businesses trying to survive, understanding that whole direct-to-consumer thing, staying legal, getting seen with SEO, and even like how to check out what the competition's up to. So where do we start?
Well, let's maybe start by acknowledging something that might be on your mind, right?
Yeah.
Because this whole world of e-commerce, it can feel super competitive. And frankly, some of the numbers you hear, they can be a bit discouraging.
Yeah, it can definitely feel like that sometimes. You hear about so many online stores starting up and you wonder, is it even possible to, break through? And our sources, they're honest about it. A lot of online stores do fail.
They do.
Yeah.
But this is the crucial bit. What the data then shows is really important.
Right.
Because while, yes, failure is a reality for some, the sources immediately point out that a significant number of people are succeeding on Shopify. They are generating serious revenue. The trick is understanding what makes the difference.
So the numbers themselves are pretty interesting. The success rate for Shopify stores, it's apparently around 15%. But then, get this, the average success rate for e-commerce overall is actually under 20%.
Right. So Shopify isn't necessarily like a harder place to succeed than anywhere else online.
And while the average revenue per customer on Shopify is about $92, and the average conversion rate is hovering around 1.4%.
Sounds kind of low, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But the real kicker is that about 20% of Shopify stores, they're hitting conversion rates of 3.2% or even higher. That's a pretty big difference.
It is. And that really highlights where the problem often lies, doesn't it? It seems like lots of stores might have a great product, a solid idea, but they really struggle with the conversion part, actually turning those website visitors into paying customers. It boils down to tactics.
But it's definitely not all struggle out there. The sources are clear. Big revenue is possible. It takes hard work, smart strategies. They even mentioned Ben Francis at Gymshark, right? Building that huge success basically from scratch on Shopify.
Exactly. A massive example. But it's not just about hitting home runs either. We also saw examples of smaller, more tactical wins adding up. Like Oddballs, apparently. They pulled in $50,000 in sales just from one well-timed on-site notification.
Wow. Okay.
So even simple targeted actions can make a real difference to your bottom line.
Right. And to give a real feel for the range of possibilities on Shopify, we've got this list from the sources, different success stories, their rough annual revenues. It's quite revealing.
Yeah, let's run through a few. There's Asphalt, European brand, doing around $25 million.
Nice.
Partake Foods and Holo Taco, both scaling well, under $5 million. Chubby's, the shorts guys, heading a pretty substantial $45 million.
Wow.
Mies and Balzac, also in that under $5 million bracket with their homewares. Allbirds, the sustainability stars, $305 million.
Huge number.
Madsen Cycles and WP Standard, curving out their niches around $5 million each. Beard Brand, grooming experts, $7 million. And Bloom, under $5 million as well, focused on self-care. It really shows the variety, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And what's really fascinating isn't just the money, it's the unique recipe each one used. Let's maybe dig into a few of those and see what key takeaways we can pull out.
Okay, this is good. Let's start with Asphalt. Their whole approach is fascinating because they use a pre-order model. It's completely driven by what their customers actually say they want.
Right.
They're super focused on product quality, obviously, but also this really deep customer-centric culture. They use website surveys, type forms specifically, and even pop-ups to get people to fill them out.
So the big lesson from Asphalt, it seems to be about that strategic edge you get from demand-driven production. By letting customers dictate what gets made, they're not just ensuring they make stuff people want, but they're also cutting down massively on the risk of having unsold stock.
Exactly that. It's shifting away from just pushing products you hope will sell towards creating what your audience explicitly asks for. That feedback loop, it becomes their growth engine.
Okay, next up, Partake Foods. The founder, Denise Woodard, she mentioned two really critical things. Having a top quality product, obviously, but also, and maybe this is a bit surprising, consistently building and nurturing an email list. Apparently, she didn't fully grasp its power at first, but found email marketing was just fundamental for their growth. They use on-site capture forms with discounts, those email pop-ups we all see.
Yeah. The takeaway from Partace is pretty clear then. Even with all the fancy digital marketing tools today, a solid email list is still like bedrock for sustainable growth. It lets you build direct relationships.
Yeah, it's a channel you actually own, right?
Yeah.
Not subject to some algorithm changing overnight.
Precisely. Then you've got Chubbies. Their success seems like a mix of really active social media, constantly chatting with fans, and this very distinct, fun brand voice.
Yeah, they're known for those quirky campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Lots of user-generated content, targeting college kids specifically, building that whole Chubsers community feel.
Chubbies really shows the power of building that tribal identity. They engage in a way that clicks with their audience's personality, turning customers into, like, super fans who feel part of something bigger.
Right, not just a transaction. Okay, Holo Taco. Founded by Christine Rotenberg, the YouTuber. Very clear commitment to values vegan, cruelty-free, US-made, affordable.
And that connection to her existing audience was huge, obviously. Plus, a relentless focus on product quality, not just quick profits.
So Holo Taco kind of reinforces that idea that strong, clear values really resonate today. Authenticity, connecting on that level, it builds serious loyalty.
Definitely. Maison Balzac is interesting, too. They took a more organic path. Started with just a few candles, grew based on the founder's passion and what customers were asking for. Very personal touch, very steady, careful growth.
So Maison Balzac highlights that personal connection, doesn't it? Nurturing those early relationships, letting customer needs guide you. It builds a really dedicated following. Not all growth has to be like hyper speed.
True. Okay, Allbirds. They really shook up footwear with their focus on sustainability and that direct-to-consumer model. Gave them more control over manufacturing, better prices, closer customer ties.
Allbirds just hammers home the advantage of a unique selling proposition that people actually care about. Sustainability, in their case, in today's market. Huge differentiator.
Totally. Madsen Cycles, they have that unique bucket bike. They prioritize social media and really leveraged user-generated content.
Yeah.
They even put an Insta feed right on their Shopify store, showing customers using the bikes.
That's smart. Madsen Cycles shows how much trust and authenticity comes from user-generated stuff. Seeing real people loving your product, often way more powerful than an ad.
No question. Beard brand, they found a really specific niche. Guys with beards needing good grooming products. Built a community through things like beard championships, created loads of content, blogs, videos, and their Beardsman quiz is clever for understanding customer needs.
Your brand really shows the power of deeply understanding your audience, using things like quizzes to get insights, offer tailored stuff, builds that community feel.
Yeah, really smart. And WP Standard's growth, it really boiled down to effective email list building. That's a theme, isn't it? That email list keeps popping up.
It really does. WP Standard just confirms it again. A well-managed email list is a massive asset. Direct communication, building relationships, driving repeat sales, still a cornerstone.
Absolutely. And finally, Bloom. They focused on solving problems for their target audience, Gen Z, with vegan, eco-friendly skincare, and they tackled destigmatizing female health topics. Smart use of Shopify's analytics and engagement tools, too, like loyalty programs, reviews.
So Blue emphasizes not just selling something, but solving a real problem for a specific group. Understanding pain points, using platform tools for engagement and social proof makes for a strong brand.
Exactly. So if you pull all these stories together, some really clear patterns jump out, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Building that email list, like we said, using the growth tools available on Shopify, staying true to your brand values, prioritizing the customer experience always, and having a strong, engaging social media presence. Those seem to be the common threads.
They really do. And, okay, so once you've actually got those initial customers, the next big challenge is keeping them around, right? Keeping them engaged, getting them to come back.
Makes sense.
Our sources really stress this because, the cost of getting new customers keeps going up. So focusing on customer retention, it becomes absolutely vital for long-term success.
Yeah, you can't just keep filling a leaky bucket. Got to nurture those initial purchases into real loyalty.
Right. Customer retention, as the sources define it, is basically about two things. Increasing the rate your customers buy again, and getting more overall value from the customers you already have. It's not just stopping them leaving. It's actively nurturing the relationship.
And the benefits seem pretty obvious. Returning customers tend to spend more per order, they become advocates through word of mouth, and it's just way cheaper to keep someone than find someone new. That example in the sources comparing growth with 5%, 10% retention, that really showed the potential, didn't it?
It did. Exponential difference. So the sources lay out a whole toolkit, like 14 key strategies for retention. They range from simple stuff, like customer accounts for easier repeat buying.
Saves typing in your address again.
Exactly. To the absolute fundamental, providing great customer service to stop people leaving in the first place.
Loyalty programs seem key too, like Nerdy Nuts using reward points. Makes people feel valued, gives them a reason to come back. And sending emails that actually offer something useful, personalized recommendations, tips on using the product. That feels smart.
Yeah, adding value, not just selling. Offering tangible stuff like discounts or store credits like Arnie and Sons might do, that's a direct incentive. And actively asking for feedback, especially from inactive customers, can tell you why they're drifting off.
Oh, and returns. Making that process smooth is huge. The sources mentioned a bad return experience stops, nearly 60% of people buying again? That's massive.
Huge number. Offering subscriptions can create that nice recurring revenue and build an ongoing relationship. And handling complaints, well, that service recovery paradox thing, can actually make customers more loyal.
Right. If you mess up but fix it brilliantly, they trust you even more sometimes. Weird, but true.
It works. Rewarding referrals, like Daya & Co.'s program that leverages your existing happy customers. Being really clear about your brand values connects with people who share them. Offering buy now, pay later reduces friction. Even adding gamification points, badges can make shopping more engaging.
And finally, educating customers. Like Luxy Hair, sending post-purchase tips, helps them get more value from the product, makes them stick around longer. It's definitely more than just the initial sale.
For sure. And to know if any of this is actually working, you need to track key metrics. The sources highlight several: your repeat customer rate, what percentage buy more than once; purchase frequency, how often they buy; average order value, how much they spend each time;
and the big one, customer lifetime value, or CLV. Basically, how much revenue you expect from one customer over their whole relationship with you.
Exactly. And then there's churn rate. The flip side, the percentage of customers who stop buying over a certain period. Understanding why they churn is step one in fixing it. Is it unmet expectations, competitors, lack of engagement, bad service?
Gotcha. And we saw some good examples of brands doing this well. Everlywell with personalized emails, Luxy Hair's educational stuff, Daya & Co.'s referrals, Pepper using a fit quiz for recommendations, even small touches like Westpath putting a sticker in the order.
Yeah, those little things add up. Elf Ceramics unifying online and offline data with Shopify POS. Splash Wine's a creative subscription model for Black Friday. The Honest Kitchen integrating loyalty and subscriptions. Jill and Allie offering subscriber discounts. Mac Weldon asking for feedback and recommending stuff post-purchase. It's all part of that ongoing engagement.
And it makes sense that when you focus on retention, depends on where your business is at, right? Just starting out, you need new customers. But once you're getting traction, nurturing those existing ones becomes way more important for growth.
Absolutely. The focus shifts. And the sources even tackled some common questions, like what's a good retention rate? Around 30% seems like a decent benchmark for e-commerce. Key factors: satisfaction, service, personalization, loyalty programs, engagement, convenience, value. Pretty much everything we've discussed.
How to improve it? Start by measuring where you are, then try specific tactics. Makes sense.
Okay, so you've got customers, you're working on keeping them. Next big piece, actually getting the products to them. Shipping. Our sources really hammer home how much shipping impacts both the customer experience and your costs. That stat about the average store spending nearly 9% on shipping.
Wow. And unexpected shipping costs at checkout. Huge reason people abandon carts. So a good shipping strategy isn't just logistics, it's fundamental to your sales and profit.
Exactly. A solid shipping strategy, as the sources define it, is your whole plan. Which carriers you use, the methods you offer, how you price it. The goal is meeting customer expectations, speed, reliability, while keeping your costs down and protecting your margins.
And getting it right has big benefits, right? Better customer experience through transparency, boosting average order value with free shipping thresholds that 78% willing to buy more for free shipping is compelling.
Very compelling. Plus, it can help you expand globally and improve conversions just by being clear about options, carriers, speeds, local delivery, pickup.
So the sources listed like 17 different strategies. That's a lot of options.
It is. Free shipping is obviously huge. You can do it unconditionally on high-margin stuff, build the cost into the product price, set a minimum spend, Use it as a limited time promotion.
Or even upsell shipping insurance, like that tabs example for melting protection. Interesting.
Yeah, clever ways to offset costs. Then there's flat rate shipping. Fixed price per package, or maybe by weight range, or order total. You need accurate parcel sizes in Shopify for this. And offering flat rates for paid returns. That can deter wardrobing and appeal to sustainability concerns. Plus, offering different flat rates for standard versus express gives choice.
Table rate shipping sounds more complex based on weight, size, location.
More customized, yeah. Can be more cost-effective sometimes, gives upfront visibility. Using Shopify shipping profiles to group similar products helps manage it. And showing country-specific rates on localized stores is vital for international sales.
Real-time carrier reads. That means the price updates constantly based on the carrier?
Yep. Protects you from sudden price hikes. Putting a calculator on the cart page helps transparency. Often best for heavy or oversized items where costs vary a lot. You might absorb handling fees into the product price to keep it simple. And definitely try negotiating rates with carriers if you ship a lot, or use the pre-negotiated rates via platforms like Shopify Shipping.
And local delivery for nearby customers.
Right. Cuts carrier costs. Maybe free over a certain spend. Or you could even incentivize pickup over delivery charge. A small fee for delivery. Make pickup free. Encourages people into the store if you have one.
And return shipping strategy needs thought, too. Mirroring outgoing options makes sense, but you need to check it's financially viable. And clear communication is key.
The main message on shipping is test and adapt. What works for one store might not work for you. And as you grow, things like the Shopify Fulfillment Network might become a really good option.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Looking ahead to 2025, the sources had some really practical tips for small business success, especially given, the economic uncertainty and challenges finding new customers that some research mentioned.
Yeah, like that local EQ research, 48% finding it harder, 45% saying acquiring customers is tough. But the good news is consumers are still spending. It's still a decent time to start or grow if you're smart about it.
So what were some of those key tips? There were 22 of them, drawing on real entrepreneurs' advice.
Right. One big one was narrowing your focus. Hyper-focus on a niche market, like Simon Donato from Stoked Oats did. Really differentiate.
Building a strong brand came up again, too. Defining your story, being consistent, like Claudia Snow from Clue emphasized. That's foundational. Making it super easy to buy, streamlining checkout. And cutting costs ruthlessly, like Good Girl Snacks, using influencer marketing with zero acquisition cost. That's impressive.
Very resourceful. Yeah. Staying on top of marketing trends, always learning. Building a real community, fostering trust, like Nick West at Bandit. Creating great content, useful, engaging, authentic stories, like Aaliyah Mirandi's from Sugar Dough.
And the email list. Again, the Body Deli having a 6-figure list, it just proves the ROI. And solving real problems for customers, like Julie Cardi at Latchlight. That ensures you have value.
Absolutely. Learning to delegate as you grow is key to freeing up your time. Great customer service, non-negotiable for retention. Monitoring competitors, just smart business.
Automating tasks for efficiency. Creating really immersive product experiences online, great photos, descriptions, finding where your customers actually hang out online or offline to focus marketing.
Mobile friendliness, absolutely essential now, like Equator Coffee's site shows. Exploring subscriptions for recurring revenue, like Clue does with discounts. Having a great website, user-friendly, clear calls to action, like Mooncat.
Understanding your cash flow, vital for survival. Regularly analyzing your brand, getting feedback, looking at data like Clue does, talking directly to customers, using social proof reviews, testimonials, user-generated content, and focusing on that omni-channel experience seamless across all touch points.
Yeah, a really comprehensive list. And the sources also quickly touch on common questions. What makes a small business succeed? Planning, customer relationships, how do you make money? Margins, cost control, what do you need? Capital, marketing, product. What makes a business good? Meets needs, stable, efficient, good culture, adaptable. And can you start with just $1,000? Yeah, maybe, for low overhead ideas.
Okay, let's dive into selling directly to customers, D2C, direct to consumer. Clearly a huge growth area, over $213 billion in U.S. sales. Wow. But the sources stressed needing a clear objective before jumping in.
Right. D2C fundamentally means cutting out the middlemen, wholesalers, retailers, and selling straight to the end consumer. The big advantage is control. Control over the customer experience, the brand message.
And the benefits listed were pretty compelling. Getting ideas for new products directly from feedback, customer data for remarketing, adding a direct sales channel, building stronger relationships, potentially better profit margins, controlling how your brand is positioned.
All significant upsides. So what makes a D2C strategy actually work? Several key components came up. First, a seamless, reliable e-commerce platform, your foundation.
Makes sense.
Then, compelling brand storytelling to connect emotionally, and effective digital marketing across multiple channels.
Right. That includes social media, using in-app storefronts, picking the right platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok.
Influencer marketing too, especially micro-influencers maybe, using tools like Shopify Collab. Email marketing, again, for personalized content based on segments, VIPs, first-timers, inactive users.
Content marketing and SEO for organic traffic, using keywords well. And word of mouth, loyalty programs that reward sharing, maybe with store credit.
And underpinning it all, a truly customer-centric approach, using feedback and data to tailor everything. Building a branded community, strong supply chain management is crucial for smooth operations. And making data-driven decisions using polls, quizzes, surveys, reviews, support tickets to really understand your ideal customer beyond just assumptions.
What about different D2C models?
Subscriptions are a big one. Curated boxes, regular deliveries. Convenient for customers, predictable revenue for you. Integrating Shopify with tools like Recharge can really drive growth, like the Alpha Box and Dice example.
And marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, Etsy.
They can be complementary channels. Access to a huge audience, existing infrastructure. But your D2C site should be primary. You need strategies to maybe pull marketplace buyers over to your own site, QR codes, exclusive discounts.
Yeah.
Mitigate the risks of relying too much on them.
Okay, but there are challenges too, right? What did the sources say about those?
Big one is rising customer acquisition costs. Strategies to fight that include highlighting bestsellers, building community like Directory did, optimizing your conversion funnel constantly, using cart abandonment campaigns, retargeting effectively maybe with Shopify audiences, and experimenting with channels. Caraway used shop campaigns to get $1 in a revenue at a capped acquisition cost.
Wow.
Another challenge is scaling operations. Needs investment in tech, infrastructure, people. CISE using Shopify Fulfillment Network to handle backlogs is a good example of tackling that.
Any standout success stories mentioned?
Glossier was highlighted for blending online and offline marketing, like that clever billboard scavenger hunt. And Nanoleaf made a strategic shift from retail distributors to D2C for better margins, global reach, faster shipping, and quicker business intelligence.
So if someone wants to implement a DDC strategy, what are the steps?
First, really identify and understand your target audience. Use Shopify Analytics, surveys, social data. Build those personas, like that example of the brand changing content when they learned how people were using their leggings.
Right.
Then choose the right e-commerce platform scalable for growth. Build a powerful, consistent brand. Create a seamless online experience, user-friendly site. Maybe use Launchpad for scheduling changes. And leverage omnichannel capabilities, integrate website, marketplaces, physical stores if you have them. Shopify's unified commerce tools help here.
Okay, so key takeaways for D2C. Customer centricity, data-driven decisions, constant innovation, and managing your capacity carefully.
Exactly. Now, as you're building all this, you absolutely cannot ignore the legal side. The sources really emphasize this. Setting up might seem easy, but navigating the laws. It's complex, but crucial for protecting everyone.
Yeah, it can feel like a minefield. Different rules in different countries, states. But ignoring it is not an option, as the sources say.
Understanding the rules is vital. Protects your brand, your assets, maintains customer trust, avoids costly disputes and penalties.
So what kind of laws are we talking about? The sources broke it down into protecting customers and protecting businesses.
Right. For customers, a big area is personal data privacy and security. Website tracking rules like CCPA, GDPR, email marketing rules like canned spam, having clear privacy policies, rules around kids' data, health track and health data, health breach notification rule, identity theft, red flags rule.
Also securing financial data following PCI DSS standards, which Shopify helps with. E-signatures needing proper consent under the eSign Act, and laws ensuring product quality and service, avoiding false advertising, FTC Act, being transparent with reviews, Consumer Review Fairness Act, fulfilling orders properly, mail order rule ship when you say you will or within 30 days.
Then there are laws protecting the business itself. Your business structure choice, sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation has big liability and tax implications. Tax obligations, sales tax complexities, import duties, FTA tariff tool helps. Business tax deadlines, protecting your brand with trademarks and patents.
Product restrictions too, things you can't easily ship, like alcohol, nail polish, perfume, CBD, plus carrier-specific rules. And business insurance workers' comp, unemployment, disability if you have employees, plus property damage and liability are usually highly recommended.
The overwhelming message here: don't guess. Get professional legal advice. It's essential to make sure you're compliant and protected.
Right. And the sources touched on FAQs too, like, do you need an LLC? Which laws affect e-commerce most? What are key consumer protection areas? Why is privacy so important? Do you need a privacy policy? Yes. How to safeguard data?
Okay, finally, how do you get people to actually find your amazing Shopify store? SEO, search engine optimization. Our sources explain it as making your online stuff discoverable in search engines, mostly Google.
And SEO success is basically measured by clicks from search results, right?
Yeah.
Especially those organic, non-branded clicks from new potential customers searching for what you sell.
Exactly. It involves technical stuff, site speed, mobile friendliness, and marketing stuff, content, reviews.
And the benefits for small businesses. Increased visibility, obviously. Cost-effective marketing, long-term organic clicks are free once you rank. More credibility, search engines are seen as validating good businesses. And a competitive advantage over time, that sustainable traffic stream, the moat around your business.
So the sources outlined a 4-step SEO strategy. First, keyword research. Find the terms your audience uses. Target local keywords if that applies, like the physical therapy clinic Boston example. Then implement those keywords naturally in your site's content and metadata title tags, meta descriptions, headers. That's on-page SEO.
Second step, build links. Get other reputable sites to link to yours. Signals trust to search engines. Links from social media or comments don't really count the same way. You earn good links through media pitches, collaborations, asking your network, especially complementary businesses.
Third, if you're local, focus on local SEO. Optimize your listings, especially Google My Business. Key things: consistent name, address, phone number, NAP, complete profile, lots of positive, genuine reviews.
And fourth, measure and analyze. SEO takes time, like 3-6 months to see real results. Look at leading indicators. Rising Google impressions means more visibility, new high-quality backlinks, improving Google My Business rating, aim for maybe 5% of customers leaving 4 or 5 stars.
The sources also listed some useful SEO tools. Free ones like Google Search Console, tracks impressions, clicks, ranking, and Google Analytics, visitor behavior. Paid freemium tools like Moz, RFs for audits, keyword data, GT metrics for checking Shopify site speed. RFs is great for deep link analysis.
And they tackled common SEO questions, too. Is it effective for small businesses? Yes, especially locally or in niches. Can you do it yourself? You can cover the basics, but expert help might be needed for competitive stuff. Time commitment, maybe 10 hours a week, more at the start.
Okay, so while you're doing all that for your own business, it's always smart to see what the competition is up to. Our sources mention a Reddit discussion where e-commerce folks shared their tools and tactics for this.
Right. Sounds like many start just by browsing competitor sites manually. Get a basic feel for things. But then there are more powerful tools.
Exactly. The discussion mentions several types: SEO software RFs, similar web, SEMrush to see their search strategy, keywords, backlinks, social media software, Social Sprout, Hootsuite to analyze their social presence and engagement, site infrastructure tools built with Google PageSpeed Insights to see what tech they use and how fast their site is.
One really interesting tip was trying to figure out which media buying agencies competitors use. Gives clues about their paid acquisition strategy. And benchmarking your own KPIs against industry averages, like the SusTern data mentioned, is crucial context.
Yeah, and that Reddit thread also mentioned a YouTube channel, That Calm Guy. Apparently shares free tools for competitor analysis. Good starting point, maybe. Plus, links to other related Reddit chats on SEO competitor tools and market research tools.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, we've really covered a huge range of interconnected strategies, haven't we? All aimed at building and growing a successful Shopify business, drawing on lots of real examples and expert advice.
We have. Yeah. And while, the path isn't always easy, those stats remind us of that the insights from successful stores, the proven tactics in retention, shipping, marketing, legal stuff. Yeah. It really does provide a valuable roadmap, doesn't it?
It really does. So, maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Consider which of these pieces, understanding your niche deeply, building loyalty, nailing shipping, navigating the legal maze, which one resonates most with your current challenges and opportunities. Digging deeper into that specific area could unlock some serious growth and resilience for your own online venture.